Namaste. I would like to talk to a little bit more about the last topic that we discussed, which is that most of what we know about meditation comes from marketing. So I recently saw a very good quote by Sam Harris. It is in a YouTube video of his, and he says that meditation is treated as a what's it, executive stress ball. So when you're stressed, you can this ball you can squeeze to feel better. And meditation is treated a bit or sold a bit like that. Whenever you're stressed, you just sit down, do a bit of chanting, and you'll feel great. That's not what meditation is for. It's like I said last time, meditation does lead to a joyful, peaceful state, but it happens down the line. It's not something that can happen immediately. It's not a meditation is not a quick fix. You're just depressed, you just do a little bit of chanting and you're done. It doesn't work like that. So the way that I see it is, say that I heard this from this example I heard from Eckhart Tolle. I'm going to expand on this example a little bit. So the example is that say you're stuck in the mud, okay, and your shoe is stuck in the mud. It's all dirty, and you pull the mud out. You pull your foot out of the mud, and then say a mile down the road, there's a car, and your car has air conditioned water and all the comforts, but you're stuck out here in the mud, and you lost your shoe, and you have to walk barefoot through a really hard and hot ground full of thorns. So once you get to your car, you're going to feel good, but the journey there might be painful, might be uncomfortable. And meditation is like that. We're stuck in our thinking. We have this drug. Most of us are addicted to thinking. Thinking is the worst drug there is. It's worse than alcohol. It's worse than cocaine. It's worse than anything. Just non-stop thinking, because every time you're sitting there, the brain is going bzzz, just thinking, and this never stops. As this thinking is one of the biggest causes of our misery, and we are addicted to this thinking. To go beyond suffering, we need to not stop thinking, not kill the mind. We have to go beyond the mind. We have to go into a real self, and that path, that process can be sometimes, and it usually is, painful, because we are so addicted to our thinking. Meditation is like, if you got a band-aid on your skin, and it's like pulling the band-aid off. And if you got a hairy arm like me, it's going to hurt a lot. That's what meditation is. It's you're pulling the band-aid off your addiction to thinking. And that's why, for most people, meditation is painful. It causes suffering, it causes pain. That's what I said the last time. For many people, meditation makes them more depressed. It makes them suicidal. It makes them, their psychosis worse for many people. And that makes sense, because all the shit that you've been suppressing into your subconscious, you've been pushing it down, it all comes up in meditation. There's nowhere for it to hide anymore. We're constantly doing stuff. We have to keep our mind busy. We're sitting on the computer, we're on Facebook, we're scrolling through useless text, useless tweets. Or we're trying to do something out in the outer world, or we're trying to watch TV, and the plan is always the same: to avoid thinking, because thinking is painful. It hurts us. All that pain inside hurts us. And so we keep ourselves distracted so the pain doesn't hurt. And when you sit down to meditate quietly, all that crap you've been pushing down comes up to the surface. And it has to be dealt with. Unfortunately, there's no easy solution. Many Eastern types, they are like, oh, you go to a guru, he's going to keep your hand on your head and your kundalini will rise and you'll become enlightened. No. if enlightenment was that easy, we would all be enlightened by now. The problem is, all the shit in our subconscious, we put it there, so we have to deal with it. And meditation is the process of dealing with all the shit you've put in your subconscious. You put there. Yeah, not you. Not me, sorry. You. I'm responsible for my own shit. You're responsible for your shit. Yeah. Every time you sit to meditate, you have to deal with that crap. And it's not, you can't deal with it because there's a secret. I'll come back to it. Come back to this later. Because we put so much garbage in our, even if you don't believe in previous lives, and you don't need to. Yeah, you don't need to believe in previous lives. Even if you only believe in one life. Even in this life, we have put so much crap in our mind. It's almost impossible to deal with. But we do have to deal with it because it's our own crap. We cannot blame our parents or society or the government or evil corporations or the oil industry or whatever. Ultimately, it's our own crap. We have to deal with it. And on one level, it's quite terrifying. But on the other level, it's rather freeing that since we are responsible for our suffering, we can be responsible for our joy and peace as well. There's nobody to blame. No government, no corporation, no even God. And it's just all us. Yeah. That's not 100% true. When we start to meditate, our own higher self, our real self, true self, that's our self that's connected to the universal intelligence, starts to help us. And that's why anyone succeeds at meditation. Like I said, we have put in so much crap that under normal circumstances we would just drown in our own subconscious garbage, subconscious shit. But we don't, because our higher self pulls us up. But we do have to make the effort. This self, the body that exists in time and space, this lower self, this physical self, has to put in some effort too. The higher self cannot do everything for us. So it's a balancing act. So we do get help from the universe. But ultimately we have to do the work. And I think this is where the marketing of meditation fails. It fails to tell you that meditation is not a happy, yay. That's not meditation. That's no, it's not. It's a process of discovering our true self. It's a process of finding our inherent joy and peace. And finding it and holding, not grabbing it, not trying to, not holding on to it. It's a matter of letting go of all the pain and the suffering, so the real peace can sort of come up from the depth of our self. I think the Yoga Sutras, the first or second sutra which is the only sutra, I think it summarizes the whole Yoga Sutras. It says when the mind is free of fluctuations and constant processing, that's when you can see your real self, your own self, your true self. So the mind has to be calm first. And here's the thing, you don't need meditation to calm your mind. I think that's another big lie that people have repeated over and over and over, and everybody accepts is the truth. You don't need meditation to calm your mind or to become peaceful. Meditation is just one of the tools that we have. It's not even the most powerful tool. Again, in the last lecture I talked about Om Swami, and he said this thing as well. He said that most of the people in history who became enlightened were not meditators. I mean, if you look at history, only Buddha was a meditator, right? If you look at Jesus, if you look at Guru Nanak, if you look at Krishna or all these hundreds of people, all the Sufi saints, they didn't do what we would call sitting meditation. If you look at all of them, every from Jesus to all the other saints, most of them, like 90% of them, they practiced love and compassion and forgiveness and kindness and gratitude. And this is the real secret. You don't need to sit and meditate. Meditation is good, but it's just one of the tools. And it's not even the most powerful tool out there. It's useful, it has its uses. I'm not saying it's useless, but it's been emphasized. That's like saying avocado is good for you, and you only eat avocado like 8 hours a day or 10 hours a day. Meditation is like that. Something good has been overexposed and oversold. If you only have some time, say you only have 2 minutes a day, it's better to practice compassion, self-compassion, or gratitude. Just thank the universe. You can write it down, you can say it out loud, you can record it. Just thanks for whatever you have. You have a house, your roof over your head. Thanks the universe for that. You've got food and water. Thank the universe for that. You're alive. Thank the universe for that. You have the technology and the free time to listen to meditation lectures or read books about meditation. Thank the universe for that. That's more powerful and more useful than sitting and trying to chant Om Shanti Shanti or whatever. If you have time, start with that. Then after 2 minutes, then if you have time, then you can try sitting meditation. And sitting meditation is just a tool to help you calm your mind down, to stop the non-stop thinking, so that the mind can relax and the higher self can take over. The problem with meditation as it's taught is that in theory meditation is supposed to make you relax and calm down and let the higher self take over. But for most people it becomes an end in itself. They're meditating for 2 hours a day and they've become master meditators. And being a master meditator is like being a master juggler. It's very impressive, but it's not spiritual. Please don't pretend it's spiritual. You're just I saw a guy in Edinburgh tattoo. He was an American. So in Edinburgh tattoo, he used to do road shows and he was juggling a grenade. I don't think it was a real grenade, but with a grenade there was a knife, like a Rambo knife. If you've seen the movie Rambo, knife like that. Then a chainsaw, an actual chainsaw that he put diesel in and started. So there's a chainsaw, a grenade, a knife, and he was juggling that. Boy, it was impressive. But it didn't make him enlightened. In the same way, being able to meditate for 5 hours a day or 10 hours a day is very impressive, but it won't make you enlightened. Because ultimately you have to go out in the world and you have to, the real test is when the rubber hits the road. You can sit on your arse and, feel peaceful for whatever time, 1 hour a day. But the 23 hours a day you're outside. If you cannot take your meditation outside, then it's useless. And that's the problem with meditation as it's taught, as it's marketed. It's like popping a pill. If you're depressed, take a pill and your depression goes away. Meditation is the process of discovering your true self. And it has to be a part of your whole life, whole 24 hours. It has to be something you are, not something you do now and then. And this is this is a big topic. It's like you could speak 20 or 30 hours just on this, but meditation is oversold. Meditation will not make you happy. I'm not saying don't meditate, but don't put too much emphasis on it. Try other things as well, like practicing compassion, kindness, forgiveness, gratitude, all this stuff that's considered boring or old-fashioned or too Christian. Yeah, it's as useful, if not more useful, than sitting meditation. Okay, that's all we have time for today. Thank you very much. Thank you for listening to me. I'm grateful. Namaste and thank you.